they've been looking to her a lot, someone who they looked to pretty much always last year. A couple more options for them this year. You see them go to Bjork sometimes, you see them go to Schrader sometimes, but clearly they like what they see in Palazzolo's matchup against the right side of Northwestern's blocking scheme, and it's worked out so far, hitting at a very calm 571 clip early on.
Service error sends the serve back to Northwestern. It's Catherine Randorf. Lucy Trump is blocked hard by Reed and Hill. Both of them got up there.
Yeah, and a demonstrative celebration after. You can feel that Northwestern certainly in this set, especially if they can make plays like that. First time we've seen them get a point via the block. And as you mentioned, 2 purple jerseys over on that far side, far from us, making that block.
Randorf's serve goes over, and it's Lucy Hill, or rather Kennedy Hill, my apologies, putting the kill on for Northwestern.
Another block. Notre Dame tries to go to the middle this time, but rejected once again by the Wildcats, seemingly coming out of that immediate timeout with a decent number of adjustments on a 5-1 run since we went to break.
The Irish lead cut to 4. Oh, and passed up once again, overpassed, and the Irish recover. And there's Sydney Palazzolo from the outside, overpowering the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was a free ball for Rylan Reed, and Kaylee Dockery stood in there and dug it out. We get another look at that dig by Dockery, perfectly done with basically no time to react. That was set up that kill by Palazzolo.
Nice drop shot by Rylan Reed, finding the hardwood.
That's a good job by Reed reading the block. She'll head off and take a break as Northwestern goes through their rotation. Wildcats only down 4 now after being down 7 at one point in this set.
Lily Wagner's serve passed up. Backs out, backline attack. Sails long for the Irish.
Pretty close. Rockwell asking her players whether they thought that was in or not, considering going to the challenge, but decides not to. Tough to tell from up here, so they'll stick with the call on the court. Northwestern back in it.
The lead cut to 3. And there's a nice kill by Morgan Gardy, the freshman.
Gardy led the way last night for Notre Dame in the victory. A big part of this Notre Dame team, someone who gives them size. The tallest player on either team at 6'4", uses that to get kills like that over blocks. Can use those long arms to get him around blocks. She does it all, and a big kill for Notre Dame to kind of slow the game down a little bit. Northwestern certainly taking it to Notre Dame in the second half of this first set, and Northwestern will use their first timeout after seeing that kill.
They've launched some effective attacks. Rylan Reed and Kennedy Hill up front, being a strong presence.
We're going to look at Coach Salima Rockwell. Sorry there, Will. Talked a little bit about last night how she spent some time this summer at the Olympics doing analysis for the 3-man volleyball team covering the games in Paris. Third year at Notre Dame, 22-33 record, certainly not indicative of the impact she's had on this program. Came in her first year, was always known it was going to be a rebuild. Last year the team got off to a great start, faded near the end of the year, but she's someone who's a great volleyball mind, coaching careers at Penn State and Texas, and again in the broadcast booth at the Olympics. That's hard to do.
That's a big deal.
And off to a good start this year. Yeah,
looking ahead to this year, there were a lot of points of excitement, a strong serving game for the Irish. And looking to improve that passing. She says it's been solid, but it's a really critical element of getting this Notre Dame offense into system.
Yeah, and we were just talking about the size that someone like Morgan Gardy provides. Anna Bjork, Morgan Gardy, and also middle blocker Grace Langer, 3 tall girls on this team that she hopes the size will help with their blocking, which in turn will help with some defensive things. And also, of course, it's always good to have size so you can have your setter put the ball a little bit higher and have kills go a little bit more likely to be over a block or whatnot. So Rockwell knows that college coaching is not only on the court, but also the recruiting process and how tough that is. And she's been extremely efficient and extremely successful at that so far.
18-14 after the pause, the freshman Anna Bjork to serve. Passed up by Wright. And there's Bousse Hazan once again on the attack from the outside.
Yeah, that'll be the 4th kill of the game for Hazan to lead her team. She is someone who Coach Tim Nolan and Northwestern is going to rely upon a lot. She has a great arm. She knows the game very well, good at reading the block, and that time used her power to get the kill.
Yeah, Coach said they'd have to really rely on her as they seek to have this new team settle in. And there's Fiona Schrader getting the errant pass and pounding it down for the kill. Lucy Trump from the service line for Notre Dame. Wildcats in system. Drop shot is managed by Notre Dame. Hazan once more, dug out by Wright. Hazan tries to float it over the first row. Notre Dame keeps it alive. And a long rally underway. And it ends up being Alexa Rousseau putting it away, finding some hardwood in the middle.
Yeah, as you mentioned, a great rally between those two teams. Lucy Trump with 2 digs for Notre Dame. Finally, Northwestern goes to the other side of the court, and just a perfectly placed, almost no-look kill from Rousseau. We see her capabilities with that left hand.
Rousseau sends it over. And there's the attack by Fiona Schrader, sent into the net by the Wildcats. It's 20-16, Notre Dame.
Good point for Schrader. She's been a little quiet to start this one as the Irish have used Palazzolo more often than we've seen them early in games to start this season, but Schrader gets an opportunity there and manages to get the kill.
Dockery up to serve. And there's a quick attack that's passed up over to the Wildcats. From the opposite side, it's managed by the Irish. Long free ball sent over. And once again, it's Hazan, and it's dumped in finally. No, it's kept alive. There was some lack of clarity.
Now they're going to say it hit the ground. I certainly thought it was plausible that Northwestern kept that alive with a couple pancakes in a row, but they blow the play dead as Sant gets the kill. Players certainly thought it was kept alive, and
I think they were told to.
We are going to get a challenge here, I believe. Tim Nolan on the Northwestern sideline with the green card in his hand. And they will indeed take a look at it once again to see if that ball did touch the ground. Ella Sant going for the kill, the sneak attack on just the Irish second hit, usually the passer. But no matter what happens with this review, with this video review from the officials, Kaylee Dockery with a diving play to set up, even to make it possible for that to happen. What an incredible play from Dockery, and later had a dig about 15 seconds later. So someone who was in the starting lineup for Notre Dame mostly to serve. And she's made a big impact early on as we get another look at whether or not this ball touches the ground. 2 players diving for it, and wow, that is close. Tough to tell whether the palm flat on the ground managed to get underneath that volleyball.
Could go either way here. There is a good chance that the hand got under. But
I think that hit the court. It's very close, but it is important, as you know, Will. Point on the floor awarded to Notre Dame, so this would have to be conclusive evidence in an overturned call. Great work by our replay crew picking up that angle, and we'll get a decision, and the call is going to stand.
So Notre Dame led off the set strong. Northwestern whittled their way back in, but for now the Irish lead stands at 5. Kaylee Dockery to serve from the right side.
Just one challenge remaining now for Northwestern. The rest of this one, certainly don't blame Coach Nolan for using it there. Such a close call. And
Sophia Summers set up for the middle and records the kill.
Another graduate student for Northwestern. You mentioned not a hugely experienced team, so players like Sophia Summers, like Alexa Rousseau, who've been around the block. Someone who, you know, Northwestern will need those players to lead the way, be leaders both on the court and off the court if if the Wildcats want to improve, they have not won a game yet this season, 0-5, although they've played 3 matches to 3-2 losses and 2 matches to 3-1. So they've been in every single game they've played and just hasn't gone their way so far.
After the cross-court attack by Schrader, the serve is back to Notre Dame. Back set for Radiff, and it's deflected by a few Irish, and the point goes to Northwestern.
Yeah, not sure that one was going to land inbounds or not. Certainly had a lot of air under it. As Kaylee Dockery on screen went laying out for it. Certainly can't blame her. A lot of topspin on that attack from Reed, and Dockery gets her hand just on it, so Northwestern gets the point.
Navarrete serve. And there's Palazzolo from the left side with the line shot. 23-18, the Irish lead. They're close.
Yeah, just 2 points away for Notre Dame, looking to win the first set just as they did on Thursday in Evanston.
Schrader's serve sails away. The serve goes back to Northwestern. 4 points now, the Irish lead.
And one thing Coach Rockwell told us before the game is that Fiona Schrader is not scared to take risks, and we see an example of that every time she serves, adding that jump serve, putting as much topspin as she can on it, and that one just didn't dive enough. It landed just out of bounds on the back line.
Randorf sends it over, and there it is once again. Sydney Palazzolo from the outside finds the line.
Yeah, good work, Palazzolo. 2 straight kills now going to the strong side. Early on, we saw her kind of go across the court a couple times and got blocked once or twice and didn't like the look, and since then has gone more up her strong side on the near line and has found success in that way.
Notre Dame in set point sends a free ball over. Set up and a powerful attack by Rylan Reed. We've seen her from that far antenna really hammering it down.
Yeah, and you could see her really wind up that right arm on that attack. Certainly did not miss any of that. Got all of her arm on that one, and that one had a ton of velocity and no way for Notre Dame to dig that one out. Just beautiful offense by Northwestern.
And it's Randorf's, or rather Garrity's attack that's blocked by a pair of Wildcats. Northwestern hanging in to this first set. Wagner serve, sent into the net, and that's the first set here at Compton. Sydney Palazzolo led the Irish with 7 kills, and we'll swap sides here at Compton.
Yeah, get a look at some of Palazzolo's work so far early on, going across the court. And later on, she would go up the strong side. Palazzolo with 7, Notre Dame up 1-0 as we head to break. At 7 in just 1 set tonight.
Sydney Palazzolo, all ACC second team last year. And they're going to rely on her heavily this year. She spent her first 2 collegiate seasons at High Point, or rather, yes, High Point in the Big South.
Came transferred in last year as a junior. Led the ACC in kills per set. A lot of that came from volume. Today they've been feeding her volume, and she's been very efficient with it. And one of the, probably Notre Dame's best player in that first set, allowing them to come away with that victory. And here she goes again.
Couple attacks fended off by Northwestern. Hattie Monson will set up Schrader, but it's dug out by the Wildcats. Drop shot, free ball, and Sant will set up Garrity, and from the outside, she gets the deflection.
Yeah, that point is a great example of the versatility of Fiona Schrader. Northwestern had a free ball, and they chose to give it to Schrader, and her and Sant quickly switched so that Sant could be the setter for that play after it was originally designed to be number 19 in blue, and Sant found Gardy, who found the kill.
A back row attack from the Wildcats. It was Hazan, found the wood floor.
Yeah, just a little bit out of bounds for her.
Or rather, yes, it looks like it sailed just left.
Yeah, Notre Dame picks up the point. Good work by the Irish to let that one go, as Ella Sant had to make that decision quick and chose to let it go, and it was the right decision. That one, though, was the wrong decision. Well-placed kill for Northwestern to get themselves on the board in set 2.
Sophia Summers, the middle blocker graduate student, transferred into Northwestern from Washington. Coach Tim Nolan was excited about this contribution, or this addition, rather. Back set from Sant. Passed up by Northwestern. This time it was Rylan Reed who powered through, and the pass could not be handled by the Irish. It's 2-2.
Yeah, we've seen Reed put a lot of power on her kills and targets the back line for Notre Dame there. Someone who we didn't know was going to be such a big factor early on in this game, Will, but has certainly stepped up to the occasion. Team leading 6 kills, hitting at .462 without an error in the game. So someone who Northwestern is getting great contribution out of right now is Rylan Reed.
Rylan Reed only showed up in 10 matches last season, but this time from the other end, it's Fiona Schrader once again with a cross-court attack.
We haven't seen them go to Schrader that often early on in this game. Picks up her 4th kill on just her 9th attempt. Someone who you'd expect them to look to more often, considering how well she did in their last game on Thursday.
Dockery's serve is passed up. And it was Rylan Reed once again that sent one over, and the Irish misplayed it.
Yeah, just a little bit of miscommunication there between Notre Dame's Grace Langer and Sydney Palazzolo. Langer thought Palazzolo was going to be able to get to that ball off the block, and Palazzolo just came up a little short because it didn't have as much air under it, enough for her to get there on time.
And Palazzolo once again from that same spot. That's her 8th kill tonight.
We get another look at number 8 for number 12. Just got it through the block. Someone who last night hit a lot from the back line, but we're seeing her in that hitter position tonight, doing a lot more work close to the net.
Reed this time sends that one far and long.
The first error for Rylan Reed. On her resume tonight, you can see Northwestern going to her pretty much all the time, seeing must like the matchup that she has, and for the most part it's been working out for them, but there she commits the error and they'll go to her once again.
And a similar outcome this time. 6-3, the Irish lead.
Not so fast. Nolan's gonna pull out the green card. They're gonna review it for a tip. Certainly, it looked like from here that
with Monson of the Irish. And it's misplayed by the Wildcats. That'll be an ace for the libero.
Yeah, first ace we've seen for either team. First ace by someone other than Fiona Schrader in the game. Now 3 aces for Notre Dame early on. Coach Rockwell said she loves her team's service game this year, especially compared to other years, and we're seeing that right now with Schrader and Monson with aces early on.
Schrader sent an attack over. It was handled. Dug out nicely by Monson. Outside setup is handled by Northwestern. A long rally in progress. And Schrader, this time, pounds it through a couple of blocks.
Yeah, good rally between both these teams. Couple digs on both sides. Sant had the dig that set up the kill for Schrader on that last play. And Notre Dame takes a 5-point lead. They lead 8-3 in set 2.
It's been a 5-point run for the Irish. And Northwestern finally snaps the streak with a drop shot on the far side's line.
Yeah, it was Rousseau. He gets crafty and creative with plays like that. Saw an opportunity on the team's second hit and disguised it well and perfectly placed right by the sideline.
Notre Dame in system, sets the middle for Anna Bjork, the freshman.
And Bjork with her 3rd kill of the game. That's now 4 Irish players with at least 3. So a balanced attack from Notre Dame. Palazzolo leading the way, but Bjork in the middle of the court getting a chance on that play. And finding a soft spot in the Wildcats defense right in the middle.
And the jump serve from Schrader flows pretty wide.
Yeah, just got under that one a little bit, did Fiona Schrader, and goes out of bounds. Northwestern will take that. We haven't seen too many service errors in this game early on, but Schrader with a couple in her own right.
Drew Wright, the libero of Northwestern, misses on a serve.
Announcers jinx, as they say. Back-to-back errors on the serves, and Notre Dame will get the ball right back with a 10-5 lead.
Coach Rockwell was emphasizing how excited she was about the service game for the Irish, although we just saw the error. Palazzola was one of the names that she brought up as being impressive, and this time Anna Bjork, the freshman, records the kill.
Yeah, off the serve from Palazzola that just barely gets over the net. Ensuing dig by Northwestern goes over the net once again, so the Irish pick up the free ball, and Bjork made no mistake.
Reed hammers it once again. Hard attack by the Irish. And this time it's Hazan who finally gets the kill.
A dig and a kill on that play for Buse Hazan, excuse me, and junior out of Istanbul, Turkey, coming to Northwestern. Coach Tim Nolan talking about recruiting. Both these coaches actually talking about how easy the recruiting process is at institutions like they are. Obviously Notre Dame and Northwestern, two top-of-the-line universities. And both coaches said that the easiest sell was the academics and the beauty of the campus. And that's kind of how they bring in such talented players. Coach Nolan trying to start something. It's his first year with the Wildcats, and looking up to looking up to Coach Rockwell, who's only 3 years into her tenure with one of these big Midwestern school, and their first ever NCAA tournament berth, and starting the rebuilding process over now in Northwestern. Knows it will be a process, but committed to Northwestern, committed to the process, committed to whatever it takes to build a power team in one of these power conferences.
Coach Nolan was excited about Catherine Randolph, who just recorded the kill. So some pieces to build around for sure for this Northwestern squad. And it's Hazan recording the ace as the Irish couldn't dig it out.
First ace for Northwestern in the game, and it's Buse Hazan, someone who Nolan has been very happy to inherit on this roster. Someone who came in on the last coaching scheme, did Hazan, and a junior, so she'll be one of the key players to the team next year, as well as one of the key ones this year, and she picks up her second ace in a row.
She was all ACC, she was all Big Ten last year after missing most of freshman year with an injury. She was actually she's a transfer from USF, so she was all ACC there. And she's looking to be a big contributor in purple. Rylan Reed once again.
Yeah, Hazan, one of the impact transfers that Northwestern has brought in, leading the way among them. Their 69 kills. Lily Wagner and Sophia Summers, also big parts of this Northwestern team. Brought in this year by Coach Nolan through the transfer portal.
Dug out nicely by Reed. And both teams trying to pick the ball low up off the ground. And we'll stay here for a timeout. Northwestern has cut it to 2 points. So just like Thursday night in Evanston, they are showing a little bit more life maybe in this second set.
I think they're playing with some desperation after falling in the first set and falling behind by a pretty big score early in the second set. This service run by Hazan has been exactly what the doctor ordered for the Wildcats, and good timeout by Salima Rockwell to kind of slow things down. She'll hold court with her team. You can barely see her on your screen. She's on her knees, blocked by the assistant coaches because she wants to get to her players' level. They're all gathered around every single player, whether active or not for this game, gathered in the huddle to listen to what Coach Rockwell is saying, and she's very demonstrative down there, certainly not happy with what she was seeing right before making that timeout call. It's a 5-0 scoring run for Northwestern to bring a 7-point deficit all the way down to 2 and make it competitive here in set number 2.
She talked about scheduling these non-conference games against teams from big-time conferences, and she made it clear that this is a test for this Fighting Irish team. Colorado State, a solid squad that came in for this volleyball on ice series last night, and Northwestern making the trip down from Evanston as both teams gear up for conference play. Yeah,
both teams know the value of non-conference play. One of Coach Nolan's first jobs for Northwestern was scheduling a non-conference schedule, which he had to do in a brief amount of time. One of the reasons why Northwestern has only played 1 home game so far this season. This is only Notre Dame's second. They chose to go on the road for most of their preseason games, but Coach Rockwell says you have to play battle-tested teams. You want that battle. She loves the word battle, and that's something that the Irish are in right now with Northwestern, certainly making it way more difficult than Notre Dame thought it would be when it was 13-6 in this set.
The service air sends the serve back to Notre Dame. It's Lucy Trump for the Irish. The libero sets Rylan Reed once again, who tries a nifty drop shot. The Irish handle it, and this time it's Summers pounding it down from the middle. But there go the Irish. It was Fiona Schrader sneaking one past the defense.
Yeah, Schrader from the middle of the court could have passed, but chose to go for the kill. Not even a sneak attack. Northwestern was ready for it, just got her hand, met the ball at its high point right above the net, and just slammed straight down on it.
Rylan Reed, but this time she was countered by Fiona Schrader up high.
Yeah, Schrader does it with the kill, and then Schrader does it with the block, a solo block. And you can see how excited her teammates are for her, getting a shove from Grace Langer to celebrate. And Langer, someone who does a lot of blocking for Notre Dame. And now an ace for the Irish. The bow and arrow celebration in the circle, as they do after every ace.
Coach was excited about this serving capability for her team. And she said they can run the 6-person rotation, although there are maybe some particular bright spots on in the serving core. It's anyone she can feel comfortable in this 6 being behind the service line.
Yeah, it's a very deep, talented Notre Dame team, especially on the service line, as we're seeing in this game. Only service errors for the Irish coming from Fiona Schrader, who also leads the team in aces. So it's a very good service team. Sydney Palazzolo, Fiona Schrader, Hattie Monson, Kaylee Dockery started today's game, started with the serve. Lucy Trump picks up an ace on that play, perfectly placed near the back line. That's a lot to be excited about from the service line, and obviously serving such an important aspect of this game. When you win a point, you get to serve, right? So you need to, if you want to win multiple points in a row, you have to win points where you're the serving team. So it's one of the reasons why it's so valuable, and Coach Rockwell, a lot of belief in her team's ability in that aspect of the game.
Yeah, she mentioned that she could have named really anybody, but Palazzolo has really stood out, probably the most of that group. But the freshman Anna Bjork, also a middle that serves really, really well. And Coach Rockwell wanted to highlight her specifically. Bjork, one of the key freshmen. You could also put Gardy in that group. She had 15 kills last night after being an All-American her senior year of high school.
That's an interesting dynamic, this Notre Dame team. Coach Rockwell says she loves how the underclassmen have meshed with the upperclassmen. You look at just their starting lineup tonight. They're 2 graduates, a senior, a junior, and then 3 freshmen. So a lot of youth on this Notre Dame team, and another block for them, and it's the veteran Fiona Schrader, one of those seniors in the starting lineup, getting the block.
Schrader and Langer getting nice and high, countering that little tap shot by Rylan Reed. 18-11, the Irish lead now. They've expanded it since our first break.
Yeah, all based off that timeout. It's a 5-0 run for Notre Dame since Salima Rockwell used her first timeout of the game, and finally Northwestern able to put an end to it with a cross-court kill.
Randorf went across the hardwood, so the serve will go back to Northwestern. It'll be Gigi Navarrete who's mainly been a defensive contributor for the Wildcats. Historically, she appeared in every set last season, and some consistency on defense.
Yeah, they look to Drew Wright to be kind of libero 1A for them, but they also get plenty of work from Navarrete defensively, someone who very good with the dig, very good at keeping points alive. And
back row attack was nicely dug out by Navarrete, but she sent a free ball over for the Irish to hammer down.
Yeah, we got to look at why she's listed as a defensive specialist slash libero on our roster, laying out to get that dig, but unfortunately for her, it came over the net. And pizza for Grace Langer.
Dockery with the Irish up 7. And there's Kennedy Hill, a big presence in the middle, getting the kill.
Yeah, her second kill for Kennedy Hill. Also has 3 blocks in the game to lead all players. So as you mentioned, Will, a big presence in the middle of that court. Number 17 in purple.
Randorf from the other end for the Wildcats. Tipping off the net and falling into the hands of the Irish, but now it's Northwestern in system. Rylan Reed tried the attack. And this time,
I think it's a net violation. I think Elisant reached over the net, maybe came in contact with it. Definitely reached over, which is why Northwestern gets that point.
The Irish set came practically over the net, and that's what caused that.
And it does again.
And it was the pass by Palazzolo that left it nice and high for the Wildcats, 15-19.
I think net violation again, this time against Northwestern. Both Wildcat players went up for that ball, and one of them got the ball, and one of them got the net. And that led to Notre Dame catching a huge break to win that point.
Rylan Reed is passed up by Monson, and this time Fiona Schrader getting it past Reed and Hill.
If you're Notre Dame, that's what play 1 looks like. That's what your go-to. Monson the dig, Sant the set, Schrader the kill, gets it through the block. Most of her kills tonight have been kind of not hitting the hardwood on the fly. Most of them have been going off of blocks, just finding abilities to get it away from the hands, right? Maybe it hits the shoulder, maybe it hits the outside of the hand, but as long as Schrader can continue to not get blocked, she will be very effective.
Hill is set up over the middle, and she floats a nice shot about halfway back.
Very good work by Hill to find the soft spot. Went up for it like she was going to slam it to her right, but eases up just enough to put it right in the middle of the court out of the outstretched dive of Monson, and Monson's dive causes the floor to be a little sweaty, so we'll quickly towel it off as Northwestern gets set to serve.
(21-15) Notre Dame in set number 2. Here's Northwestern. Schrader from the opposite side. Another kill.
8th kill of the game for Fiona Schrader. Now ties her for the lead with Palazzolo. We saw them go to Palazzolo a lot in set 1 and going the other way to Schrader now in set 2. And as she'll go back to serve now, trying to get this one inbounds. And you can see why Fiona Schrader has had 3 straight games of triple doubles. She can do it all, and she's starting to warm up a little bit after a slow start.
2 service aces for Schrader so far tonight. She had 4 last night. And a nice pass by Schrader. Hill tries to poke it over. It's handled by the Irish. And there's Anna Trump, who is blocked by Hazan and Hill.
Yeah, we saw Schrader with a dig, Schrader with a pass, but Trump was blocked. A great block by Northwestern. Trump has had 3 attempts and been blocked on all 3, so certainly not what she was hoping for, but she's a player that Coach Rockwell says plays better when she's playing confident. Oh, the point has been overturned. Maybe Northwestern came in contact with the net, as all of a sudden the officials seem to concur and then point Notre Dame's way. Certainly, you'd have to imagine it was a net violation. I don't know what else they could be looking for.
Well, and they never went to replay, Charlie. It was simply a conversation among the officials. Some brief words exchanged between Coach Tim Nolan and the lead official, but Irish point it is. They're a couple points away from winning the second set.
Yeah, they're going to rule it a block error by Kennedy Hill. So she must have came in contact with the net.
Back row attack from Northwestern. And it's Rousseau who nicely pokes it over past a leaping front row, finding the hardwood.
Yeah, good point for Northwestern. Can get emotional when you have a call overturned, especially so close to the end of set 2, but did a good job recovering and winning that point. They need a big service run, though, still, to make this interesting, trailing by 7.
And it's blocked by a couple of Wildcats. So Northwestern hanging in set number 2. It's Drew Wright, the libero, serving for the Wildcats. Dug out by Monson. And Northwestern continues the service run.
An ace for Wright, as Dockery just unable to get that ball to go where she wanted. They'll go to Dockery again, Will Wright, and this time a much better reception.
And this time it's Sydney Palazzolo from the outside, cross-court attack. Notre Dame is in set point.
Yeah, I mentioned how it was a better reception from Dockery and leads to an assist and a kill by Palazzolo. Much easier to have a controlled offensive point when that first hit is right to the setter, as that one was, as the officials will quiet it down, and set point for the Irish. Palazzolo to serve.
A couple attacks by Northwestern. It was Rousseau that sent it down to send the serve back to Northwestern.
For Rousseau, it's her 4th kill on 5 attempts, hitting a very impressive 800. Also 19 assists already, leading all players. Next closest is Ella Sant with 5 less. So seeing some of her versatility. We talk about Schrader's versatility. Talk about Gardy's strong arm, and that'll do it for set 2.
And Gardy hammers down. Set point for the Fighting Irish.
I'm not worried about that. Trying to win against Northwestern in this one, in this non-conference back-to-back, trying to clinch a sweep in the home and home and trying to get their first 3-0 victory of the season.
It's Schrader finding the weak spot in the defense for point number 1. Irish leading 2-0 here in South Bend.
Yeah, Schrader with the light tap, and Notre Dame did beat Villanova 3-0 in their season opener, but ever since then, every game has gone at least 4 sets for them. They've been battling with several teams and trying to put this Northwestern team away early. Of course, having played in 3 straight days like the Irish have, you don't know how well their energy level will hold up as the day goes along, so the quicker they can get it done, the better for them. And for Northwestern, it's all about living to see another day.
Long rally culminates in Palazzolo's attack, sailing too far. Hazan now from the left side in purple. The middle is set up. It's Anna Bjork sending it down from the emblem.
We saw coming into this 3rd set, Palazzolo working with high passes while Anna Bjork works with a low pass on that play and deposits it perfectly. Great timing on that play to set up the point for Notre Dame, and they'll give it right back on the service error.
Schrader was behind the service line, sending it about a foot too far. Gigi Navarrete, who we've seen a lot of from behind the service line, has it again for the Wildcats. The right side is set up for Trump. It's passed up, and here's Rylan Reed trying to float it in, and it was Schrader diving in nicely to keep it alive. A little miscue on the Northwestern side. Rylan Reed is blocked, and we're still going. Back row attack from Northwestern sails long, and Notre Dame takes an exciting point.
Yeah, certainly an exciting point. As you mentioned, Will, great rally between these two teams, but eventually it was Notre Dame who came away, as Northwestern has not done this much today, but they tried to go from the back line on an attack, trying to get Hazan involved from where she was on the rotation, but a little bit too much air under that attack, and it goes Notre Dame's way.
Riley Reed was about to be blocked, but it's called Wildcat point at the net.
Yeah, I think the blockers for Notre Dame came in contact with the net on that play. Quick whistle by the officials on the net. So certainly both of them blowing their whistles to stop the play. Not much debate about that one. And a conversation between Coach Nolan and that side referee. We've seen him in the referee's ear a lot today. Of course, he's already used both his challenges. He's been unhappy with some other calls, trying to get anything possible to get momentum back in Northwestern's way.
The game tied. Lauren Carter, the junior setter, is in to serve. And Carter couldn't pass up the Irish attack, and she'll quickly lose the serve.
Yeah, Carter just into the game, and Notre Dame knows it. Goes right after her. Palazzolo from the back line. Something she's added to her game this year. She did it a little bit last year, but doing it a lot more this year, attacking from the back line. Centers know she's back there, and whether it's Sant or Schrader, either one of them like to look to Palazzolo when she is in that back line, and able to come away with the kill on the last point, and then on that point, kill attempt from Rousseau goes out of bounds.
The freshman Anna Bjork serving for the Irish. Bump set for Rylan Reed, who just sneaks it in there past a diving Anna Bjork.
We get another look. Rylan Reed already being targeted. 29 kill attempts for her. That one was very close to the line. Perfectly placed for Reed. She's got a career high 11 kills right now, does number 21 in purple.
Kenny Hill tried to poke it over. The Irish were there. And there's Lucy Trump hammering it down from the right side for the Irish.
Trump with her second kill. First one that was not ruled after a review. Goes back to serve. Someone who Notre Dame will hope to get going a little bit. She does have a hitting percentage now of flat 0 because of a couple of errors.
And a little dispute on the Northwestern side. Might have been after the block. It might have been hit one too many times.
Either way, it's a point for Notre Dame.
Trump on the serve. And there's a big block by the Irish. Grace Langer was up there to get a fist on it.
And Langer in that middle block position, a big addition for Notre Dame as a freshman, one of the big three freshmen for Coach Salima Rockwell, and timeout, Wildcats.
Back in South Bend, Notre Dame finds itself on a 3-0 scoring run, winning 2-0. They lead this one 8-4. Trump with the ace. Lucy Trump, solid playing time since freshman year. She's a junior now, listed as an outside hitter. She ended last year with 22 aces. And this one sails too far.
2 aces today for Trump. Got a little bit under that one, but can't complain about that service run from her. Positive one. Notre Dame picking up 3 points with her at the service line. Now she'll take a seat in favor of a more defensively minded structure for the Irish. They're set to receive a serve from Drew Wright, a very strong server for the Wildcats.
Wright's serve is dug out by the Irish. And a nifty attack from Fiona Schrader came from pretty far beyond the net.
Yeah, almost on her back foot was Schrader on that play. Sant had to go diving for the set, but that would have been perfectly placed in the back corner. So Schrader, a very smart player, very accurate attacker, and perfectly done.
Summers set up on the right side, finds a gap in the middle. So the serve goes back to Northwestern. It'll be Alexa Rousseau, one of those few returning really experienced players.
Yeah, we touched on her in the open. Not only an experienced returning player, but a good player for Northwestern is Alexa Rousseau, and couldn't do much about that one as Sant will pick up the kill.
Ella Sant, the setter, transferring from St. Mary's in California, where she had a lengthy career with the Gales. But there she finds the Wildcats out of system with a nifty drop shot.
Yeah, over 1,000 career assists for Ella Sant coming into this weekend's home opener. She's just continued to add to that totals. Thursday at Northwestern, Friday last night against Colorado State, and then today leading the Irish is number 44 in white with 17 assists. Number 44 in Navy, I should say. The Irish wore white last night, going with the navy blue look tonight, even against the purple of Northwestern.
Hazan's first serve goes too far, and just like that, it's back to the Irish, who lead 5.
We'll see if Schrader can get this serve inbounds. Struggled a little bit tonight from the service line. Gives it plenty of bounces on the ground before going for it, and this time it comes up a little short.
An aggressive serve from Schrader, one of many strong Irish servers.
Just looks a little off tonight. 2 nights ago, arguably the best game of her collegiate career with a triple-double, including a career-high 21 kills. Tonight she is up to 10 kills and 11 assists, but with only 3 digs, doesn't seem like it will be another triple-double. Still, though, providing balance and value in each of her aspects. You don't find many players like her who can be a setter, who can also be an attacker, and who you can rely upon to get a clutch dig.
Yeah,
So,
Coach Rockwell said. Yeah, Coach Rockwell said she does everything well, and even said almost like the spirit of a little kid who just wants to play ball. Now it's Northwestern. Rylan Reed once again sends it right at a diving Hattie Monson, who can't dig it out.
Reed adding to her career high in kills. Wildcats have been looking for her all night, and there's number 12 for her on 31 attempts. Next closest is Hazan. Bousse Hazan has 20 attempts and only 6 kills, so really the focus has been on Rylan Reed and the offense she has provided for this Northwestern team. More kills than anyone else in this game on either team.
And there's Fiona Schrader once again from the left side. It was Lauren Carter who got the serve for Northwestern, but they quickly send it back to the right side as the Irish lead 5. Set up for Reed once again. Schrader digs it out. Lucy Trump tried to get one over the first row, but Reed was among one other who sent it back.
Yeah, good block from Northwestern. Well executed point all around by the Wildcats. seemingly very in control on Notre Dame's serve. And they'll get the service back in the hands of Lily Wagner into the game now, number 20 in purple. We touched on Wagner a little bit, one of the transfers for this Northwestern team.
Spent her freshman season at Liberty and has appeared in every set for this rebuilding Northwestern squad. And there's a kill for Northwestern as the Irish couldn't get in the system. And with that, it's 15-11. Notre Dame.
We're going to take a look at some of Rylan Reed's highlights from today's action. Career high 12 kills for her. Second highest game was 2 nights ago against Notre Dame, and Northwestern's been feeding her opportunities. Rousseau's done most of the passing, and Reed has really just found a way to, whether it's around blocks, through blocks, over blocks. She's been using the far side, cross-court play. Most when conference play begins and they get guaranteed at least half of those games at home, they're going to be happy about that.
Garrity was set up. She sent it into a block, but that went wide. So a point for the Irish. 15-12 they lead.
We saw them go on a scoring run last time Coach Rockwell used a timeout and trying to get similar results. Whistle blows, and the Northwestern bench is furious.
They went out of system after the serve.
I think the argument, the referee is saying that the third hit that went onto Notre Dame's side of the court went around the pole and not over the pole for the Wildcats. Immediate disagreement from the bench and most especially Coach Nolan, who doesn't have any challenges left, so nothing he can really do. Rousseau talking to the other net official, not the one who made the call, but obviously Northwestern not pleased with that decision.
And there's Hazan sending a nice attack that the Irish can't handle.
Get another look at Hazan, a little bit of extra firepower and anger behind that kill and that celebration.
It was Rousseau who set it up nicely. And Coach Nolan talked about the setting core for this Northwestern squad being just so amazing that he can really depend on 3 separate people. As Schrader records the kill, 17 on the board now for the Irish.
Yeah, we get another look at that kill from Fiona Schrader. Great setup. I think that was Palazzolo from way in the back, setting the table perfectly. But getting to your point, Will, about the setting core for Northwestern, Alexa Rousseau, 1A, picking up a kill there. That was beautiful. 1A, someone who's been here on this Wildcats team for a long time, in her 5th year, but also Sienna Nordermeer.
And Lauren Carter.
Yeah, those 3 combined to be really, Coach Tim Nolan before the game said all very good setters, all very capable. He's confident in all 3's ability, but Rousseau getting most of the playing time as the most veteran of the group. Carter, a junior, and Nordermeer, a redshirt sophomore, excuse me. But really, it's rare to have a team with 2 very good setters, let alone 3 like Northwestern believes they have.
And it was almost sent over by Rousseau, but she bumped into the net. And the serve will remain with Hattie Monson of the Irish, the libero.
Monson back to serve, a 5th year. She used her COVID eligibility to come back this year, and Northwestern will use a timeout. Just quick to finish, having 3 straight at home to start the year is definitely the right way to go if you're the Fighting Irish.
Absolutely, and some new teams in the opposing locker rooms for both teams. The Big Ten and ACC both experiencing some changes effective this academic year. And we've seen that on the schedule for both teams. Northwestern will make a West Coast road trip out to Oregon and Washington in November. And the ACC schedule for Notre Dame, a different look this year.
Yeah, with you know, the conferences are obviously mostly based on college football, which is the most popular college sport, and for other teams at these schools, it does lead to more travel and more, you know, conference play is a little bit different now. It used to be way more based on geography, and while that still is the case for the most part with the way conference realignment has been reaching a new high in the college football world, other teams at these schools go right along with it. So a team like Northwestern, you mentioned their trips to Oregon and Washington. Hard to believe that those are conference matchups.
Summers with the kill. It was pursued by Kaylee Dockery, who nearly left the court.
Dockery's someone who always gives 110% effort on every play, especially those ones where she's having to travel a far distance. Thank God we're playing at a hockey arena with boards. Keep her in play.
And it's Sophia Summers, the big presence in the middle, getting a hand on that one. 16 now for Northwestern, who trails 4.
Yeah, Summers picks up the solo block, a very effective solo block, perfectly placed. We've seen Bjork get some kills for Notre Dame on the low passes, but that time Summers was ready for it.
Schrader once again from the right side gets the deflection. 21-16 Notre Dame.
Yeah, for Fiona Schrader, again, take advantage of the high pass, just getting it through the block of Summers. Hitting 600 in the game now, so not quite the quantity of kills she had during these two teams last game, but the quality of hitting has been there for number 19.
Summers' attack is handled by the Irish, and here they go. From the outside, they get it down. Sydney Palazzolo reaching up for it.
Yeah, Schrader now the playmaker. Palazzolo from where she's been most effective in this game, going across the court from her weak side.
From the right side, the attack is countered by Anna Bjork. And might have been 2 Irish getting up there for that one.
Yeah, we'll get another look at this block. Palazzolo looks like she got her right forearm on it. Bjork, as you mentioned, also there taking away the middle. Notre Dame, they can sense it now, only 2 points away.
Summers on the attack. This time from the right side. It's Palazzolo that sneaks one in there. A bit of a misplay by Northwestern, but that puts Notre Dame at match point. Northwestern from the right side sends one to Schrader. Now from the left side, it's Sydney Palazzolo putting this one away for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The hockey horn sounds at Compton Family Ice Arena.